Yes, the Earth's temperature has already risen by 1.2 degrees Celsius since the pre-industrial era. This may seem like a small number, but it represents a profound shift in our planet's climate system. The evidence of this change is all around us. Glaciers are melting at an alarming rate, contributing to rising sea levels. Wildfires are raging across the globe, fueled by hotter temperatures and drier vegetation. Coral reefs, vital ecosystems teeming with life, are bleaching and dying due to ocean warming and acidification. The consequences of our warming world are no longer theoretical or distant predictions. They are unfolding before our very eyes, impacting communities and ecosystems worldwide. The urgency of the situation cannot be overstated. We are living in a world on fire, bearing witness to the tangible effects of 1.2 degrees of warming. The question is, how much worse are we willing to let it get? The difference between 1.2 degrees and 1.5 degrees may seem small, but it represents a critical threshold for the planet. At 1.5 degrees of warming, the impacts of climate change become significantly more severe and widespread. Coral reefs, which support a quarter of all marine life, face almost complete eradication. The frequency and intensity of extreme weather events, such as heat waves, droughts, and floods, increase dramatically. Consider the implications. Entire ecosystems, delicately balanced over millennia, would be thrown into disarray. Coastal communities, home to millions, would face displacement due to rising sea levels and more frequent storm surges. The global food system, already strained by a growing population, would be further challenged by crop failures and water scarcity. The consequences of exceeding 1.5 degrees are not limited to the natural world. Human societies would face unprecedented challenges, including mass displacement, food and water shortages, and increased conflict over dwindling resources. The very fabric of our civilization, built upon a stable climate, would be threatened. A world at 2 degrees of warming is a world transformed. Extreme heat events, once rare occurrences, become commonplace. Major cities around the world, from Mumbai to Miami, face existential threats from rising sea levels and more intense storms. Food security, already a concern in many parts of the world, becomes a global crisis as agricultural yields decline and water resources dwindle. The Amazon rainforest, a vital carbon sink and a biodiversity hotspot, could reach a tipping point, transitioning from lush rainforest to savanna. This would release vast amounts of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, further accelerating climate change. The impacts on biodiversity would be catastrophic, with countless species facing extinction. The human cost of inaction becomes increasingly apparent at 2 degrees. Millions are displaced by climate-related disasters. Conflict over scarce resources escalates. The very foundations of our globalized world, reliant on stability and predictability, begin to crumble. Section 4, Uncharted Territory: Cascading Consequences at 3 degrees Celsius and 4 degrees Celsius. At 3 degrees and 4 degrees of warming, we enter uncharted territory. The planet enters a new climate regime, one that has not been experienced for millions of years. The consequences are nothing short of catastrophic. Wildfires rage across continents, transforming landscapes into barren wastelands. Sea levels rise by several meters, inundating coastal cities and displacing hundreds of millions of people. Ecosystems collapse on a global scale, leading to mass extinction events. The delicate balance of life on Earth is irrevocably disrupted. The very survival of human civilization is called into question as we struggle to adapt to a world that is increasingly hostile to our existence. At 4 degrees, large parts of the planet become uninhabitable due to extreme heat and water scarcity. The global food system collapses, leading to widespread famine. Mass migrations of climate refugees overwhelm borders and resources. Section 5, a call to action, charting a path towards a cooler future. The picture painted above is bleak, but it is not inevitable. We still have time to avert the worst-case scenarios of climate change, but time is running out. The choices we make today will determine the future of our planet and the well-being of generations to come. We must act decisively and collectively to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and transition to a low-carbon economy. This will require a fundamental shift in our energy systems, transportation networks, and consumption patterns.